no soul in the world who would say that Arsenal did not deserve to win. They deserve to win. Yes, Pope was indeed actually their Pope. But I think there was no divine intervention would have.
So, I mean, to sum up the refereeing decisions, refereeing performance, it kind of evened out. First minute, did you see the tackle by Joelinton on Saka? So Newcastle won and Arsenal too. A win finally at St. James's Park. Last year, they defeated us twice over there. They defeated us at home in the Carling Cup. No, I don't think any Arsenal fan going into this game was that confident, saying that we are going to win the game. But we somehow escaped from there with a victory, with all 3 points. So, what do you think? What's your reaction to the game?
First of all, wow, what a surprise, Arsenal! What a performance and what a surprise actually Arsenal pulled in. Looking at the game, definitely I thought Arsenal definitely deserved to win. Okay, but getting a victory in the last, literally the last header of the match is just awesome. It is one of the most these kind of wins actually kind of give you hope that we are in for a title race, right, at the end of the day. If you look at I still believe the Arsenal team which came yesterday was a very different team. They, to quote Kapil Dev, we here to win. So they
Hmm.
came here to win. They did not, like, unlike the other teams who probably were satisfied or satiated with a draw. Arsenal came here to win. It's as simple as that. I think if you look at the first half performance, we were just unlucky. I think Pope did a fantastic job. I think he, came up with some stupendous saves. I don't think I have seen any goalkeeper, saving so much. But obviously Newcastle's defense is tight. I think we've struggled at the St. James's Park. I think we lost 1-0, 1-0 couple of times. But yesterday it was going. I literally shut down my TV at the 83rd minute, boss, and then I think
And we scored.
and they
I
scored.
think I think that's why they scored.
So yeah.
So there
So
are
but
so many talking points from yesterday's game. First one being, I was surprised. One thing was that Arteta did everything what we demand from him.
yeah,
We actually asked him to be much more positive. He did that. Start from the lineup. He played Eze as number 10, which he didn't do against City. I don't know why, and he did that against Newcastle. I was surprised. I thought this game is tailor-made for Merino to start in the midfield, but Arteta started with Eze. And then the entire half, we played without the handbrake. There was attack after attack. There was no sitting back to take care of Gordon. What's his name? Voldemort? No, Voldemade. And then you're on mute, Satish. And then their right back Murphy, no sitting back. They were on the front foot. We were on the front foot from minute one. And as you said, Pope pulling off save after save. It reminded me of De Gea when he went on God mode against Arsenal.
yeah. So definitely, I think first of all, I think probably we should start talking about the first 10 minutes. I think there was one fantastic save by from Pope, by Eze, and then immediately the Gyökeres penalty. I think this, for me, according to me, we are really sucks. We
Hmm.
are actually. You could see that it was a penalty, and the referee awarded that a penalty. Then the referee went to the VAR. Then the VAR told him to review his decision, and then he overturned his decision, which kind of did not justify. It was one of the most stupidest and strange VAR decision. This time VAR has been caught into question many times. I think Liverpool has been the most beneficiary, of all that. But yesterday's, decision by the referee actually surprises me, and surprises me that he's overturning his own decision. On what
He
basis?
was exactly that it was surprising in many fronts that I have seen over the last few weeks that referees are not overturning their decisions, irrespective of what justification they give, irrespective of what justification PGMOL gives. There has been increasing trend of referees not reversing their decision when actually they are made to go and check their decisions on the screen. And against Arsenal yesterday, they exactly did that. They exactly overturned the decision. And
And that
if
changes a
you
match,
have to
right?
use one last point, if you have to use VAR and if you have to slow down the action frame by frame to understand what has happened, then that means you have to go with the real time decision without overturning it. That's absolutely illogical. Why? Maybe there was a touch, but there was no clear evidence that there was a touch.
But that
I
changes the
think
game,
that
right?
is
Then
what. Yeah, that
what's
changes
the
the game. That changes the game. That was one of the stupidest decisions in that game. And refereeing yesterday was pathetic. That was not the only decision which was questionable. The decision to not penalize Gabriel because of his handball,
yeah.
that was also questionable. Gabriel was lucky twice to
Yes, he
not
was
ge-
lucky.
to not get a penalty and to not get a yellow or a red card
Yellow. So red
for
ज़्यादा हो जाता, but हाँ, yellow to
for
definitely.
attacking Walter Mate.
But even
So
the
ref,
other side, right? The other player, I don't know, I forgot his name. He was literally putting his hands on Gyökeres. I
okay,
think
Lasales.
Lasales, whatever referee guy. Seriously, what is the referee doing actually? So he was trying to what? It was a very bad match for the referee. I think he should really learn his lesson. If he doesn't, I think the FA should learn his lesson that VAR, if you have to use it properly and you need to back it up.
So I mean, to sum up the refereeing decisions, refereeing performance, it kind of evened out. It was pathetic. Their mistakes with Newcastle, they did favor Newcastle with a lot of decisions, and even Arsenal got the rub of the green yesterday.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
of course.
cannot complain. You can only say that okay, it just evened out yesterday. And coming back to the performance, Gyökeres, I think yesterday's performance was his best in Arsenal shirt.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and there's no denying that.
And they were physically manhandling him. They were
Yeah,
pushing him. They were grabbing him by his face. They were grabbing his shirts. But this
he
guy,
held up.
whenever he got the ball, he was holding the ball perfectly. He was finding his man. He couldn't finish, but then Newcastle is such a place where you cannot score that easily. And what a
But
performance by this guy.
But you know what? Actually, at the end of the day, if you see, obviously he's a lone striker, and he's supposed to be the feeder. But yesterday, I think he was very strong. In fact, he was turning the feeder, to many players. He was
Hmm,
like pushing the ball back because they know that
exactly.
everyone was attacking. And I think, to be very honest with him, let's be fair to him also. Arsenal, the wingers haven't been passing the ball to him in a great deal, right? If you see, he's always on his own. I think I have all
Hmm,
like how Van Persie, Van Persie, even Havertz, right? Havertz used to get literally feeding from Saka or Martinelli on the left hand side. Unfortunately, he's not getting that, but still, yesterday he was physical. He held up his position. I think Newcastle had a tough time dealing with him because he was extremely physical. He was extremely unlucky to obviously to not to get a penalty. I think that was a clear penalty. But
there
you
was
know
a
what?
penalty.
But you know what? His attitude was great, right? Even if he didn't get the penalty, the Arsenal of earlier teams would have probably just be disheartened, blame the referee and
Oh,
about it. Let's go to
we
the
gave it
70.
back to Newcastle. That's
Absolutely.
I was
That's
happy. I mean, the worst part of it is that you have a player injured, a very good player, Livramento, their right back, who got injured because of that.
yeah.
But we stood up to their physicality, especially Gyökeres and even Timber. Oh my God,
Timber, wow, that
he
would have been the
literally.
best goal probably in the Premier League. Had that, Pope not stopped it.
Huh.
One of
Pope,
the
when he stopped that goal, I lost all hopes. I thought that okay, if Pope is stopping this shot, then I don't think we are
I think, yeah,
going to
he stopped
score.
that for phenomenally. Definitely. But having said that, yes, we're coming back to the 83rd, 84th minute. Marino was what a flick, man. मतलब was क्या मजा आ गया. We were not able to see this kind of Arsenal goals, right? Like the flicking on the header and all. The way, and obviously, having said that, Odegaard comes in, right? He changes.
He
He's the
changed the
only
game.
creative maker. He changes the
He
game. He
changed the
changed the
game.
game definitely. And the most important thing is he's the creative guy, right? At the end of the day, I think Arsenal lacks
Just
someone who's
before the
creative.
first, one thing about Mikel Merino, I hate him.
वो साला गोल मारता
Every
है,
time
कहाँ
he
से तो गोल मार
scores,
देता है भाई.
he scores out
मजा
of
आ गया.
nowhere. If and somehow Arteta has pulled off this trick again, playing Mikel Merino when we needed to score. And I'm sure even you would have been thinking why Mikel Merino is coming in. But this guy scores for us. And I
मार
don't
दिया
think so
है
anyone
मतलब.
else
I
in
think
the
I think one
anyone
thing.
else in the team would have scored that goal. It was only Mikel Merino who had that eye for that ball, who had that eye for that opportunity even before it got created. None of them in the Arsenal team would have scored that goal. Okay, nobody's talking about this, but first minute, did you see the tackle by Joelinton on Saka?
It was horrible. I think उसको
It
क्या
was
मतलब.
I don't know how that tackle is going under the radar. That should have been yellow card straight in the first minute. He was late. It was on purpose. He was trying to hurt a player
But
who's
exactly.
key for Arsenal.
And I think if you
Nobody
saw
is
the.
talking about it. It's totally going under the radar. I think it will come in future sometime when something wrong happens.
No. And if you saw the post-match conference, right? Saka was hanging on his slippers, and there was blood on his socks. And you need
Oh,
to really. Yeah, there was some blood on the socks and on his socks basically, and it seems to wonder that what Newcastle is trying to do, right? They were trying to do physical, really be physical, which I don't think is correct. And what's happening is Arsenal also is now doing the same. I completely agree with Gabriel was yesterday very lucky. I think he is that the goal which he conceded, that was such a soft just a soft मतलब, you can't. He was just falling on for nothing. There was no touch at all,
he's falling
and
down for nothing. Exactly. And my only complaint is that such tackles brings the worst from the other team. So Saka is not going to do that same tackle, but Gabriel, Saliba, Calafiori, Timber, these guys are going to be physically overpowering on Newcastle players, and Livramento had to pay for it.
yeah, he had to pay for it. Unfortunately, it was not deliberate for sure, but then he got the wrath of.
It
I think there is no soul in the world who would say that Arsenal did not deserve to win. They deserve to win. Yes, Pope was indeed actually their Pope. But I think there was no divine intervention would have basically to at least 3 goal to pakka tha.